Hello Wargamers, it's me Callum from TableTopBanter, and today I have another video for you. This time it's another episode of Hobby Hints, and today we're going to be talking about eBay. So, a lot of people think this hobby is incredibly expensive, and it can be, it really can be. But I think it's important to know that there are ways you can reduce the costs of the hobby within reason, and today I'm going to kind of delve into that a little bit. I'm hoping to do a couple more videos on it in the future, but we're talking about gaining miniatures today. There'll be tips on cheaper paints and finding solutions for those kind of things, but today it's miniatures. So, you want to get into the hobby, you want to start a new army, you want to, I don't know, start a new system. The first place I tend to look is the website that actually, like the owner of the company. So if I want to start a new army, I'll go on Games Workshop's website and I'll have a little look through what I want, because what you tend to find on there is a lot of inspiration for what you want to buy. Now, as you're all aware, I absolutely love 40k and the gaming system and the models and everything about it, except the price. So, I thank Games Workshop for making some lovely miniatures, but I'm not going to, you know, sell myself to be able to afford their miniatures on a regular basis. So I tend to use sort of other retailers, most notably Triple Helix Wargames and Whaling Games for the X-Wing. Stuff, that's where I went, but also the local gaming store does similar price stuff as Wayland, so I'll probably be going down there for a bit. Anyway, that's kind of off topic. So, once I've gained this inspiration, and I may have looked on retail stores, I tend to then nip over to eBay, and the reason I go on eBay is because you can find some absolute snatches, some incredible deals, for next to nothing. So I mean, there are loads and loads of stories in the hobby of, you know, oh, I bought this for 99p or I bought this for £1 or whatever, and the reason they exist is because of eBay. Very rarely can you just go anywhere and buy something that cheap, unless someone really doesn't want it. So I know for a fact that I have saved an enormous amount of money using eBay. Now, it doesn't always provide me with the fun building of miniatures and stuff, but it gives you models. So if you want to get into a system, let's, in this example, use 40k, as that is where I have the most experience. I want 500 points of Space Marines. Now, if I was to walk into Games Workshop on the day with my card, and I'd already taken out a loan, then I could go in, I could buy the rulebook, the codex, which would take you to, what, upwards of £80. So let's ignore those because I don't really care about those. Let's look at the miniatures. So, I go in and buy a tactical squad. That's £25 for 10 men. I'm going to need 2 of those, so that's £50. I'm going to need a character model, and most of the Games Workshop character models are £15 plus if you want the newer ones. So let's say I want a newer one. So that's £15 on top of 50. So you're on £65. You've actually got points left over, so you're going to want a rhino. And you pick up a rhino, and that's what, another £22. So you're looking at, bad at maths, 50, 65, 80, 87, £90. Let's round it up to 90. That is what you're looking to pay just for the models to get into the game. Then on top, with all the books and stuff and paints, you're looking at about £200 just to get into the game. So you might not even like it that much, and that's what you've got to remember. When I look at things for eBay, it's because I want to save money so I can make sure I'm enjoying it. Then I'll buy newer stuff, like, okay, Dark Angels bits. I just used eBay for, like, a ton of my tactical marines, and then I was like, okay, well, I really like the Dark Angels, so now I will use a retail store to buy some other bits. But really, it's being patient with the deals and stuff, and, okay, yeah, the buy it now stuff is actually quite good compared to a lot of it. What I will say is, it's not always great for vehicles. Reason being, they tend to be more to be sold closer to retail price when you do buy a vehicle off eBay. So I've been quite lucky and I suppose fortunate that I've managed to find rhinos for £6–7 when normally they go for about 15, which is not too dissimilar from the price of retail stores. So I would recommend getting vehicles new, and from there you can customise them your way a little bit. Unless you can find an absolute bargain on eBay. They are hard to come by cheap. So my piece of advice really with eBay, I suppose, the next element to this is knowing how much you should be spending on each unit. So do your research. There's nothing worse than going in, thinking you've got an amazing deal, and then the next day you see something pop up and it goes for half as much. So do your research, be patient. This hobby's not going anywhere anytime soon, so you're going to have a bit of time. I know you're going to want to get your teeth stuck into it, like I did. But just be patient, wait for the right thing to come around, and then buy it. My next piece of advice was don't be afraid of metal miniatures. Older models that are not so common and not as popular with the modern stuff, but have the same rules and still look really cool, often go a lot cheaper on eBay. I've seen Tech Marines go for £1, and I think they look awesome. So, and I had the Tech Marine model, and I paid like £7 or £8 for it, but they go for about £1, £1.50, which is amazing. That's really, really cheap for a whole character. So don't be afraid to delve into the metal models and the older models. And my last piece of advice for buying things off eBay is don't be afraid to buy pre-painted stuff. Now, there are two kinds of pre-painted on eBay. There's pro-painted, where they have been... okay, there are three types actually, I should say. There's pro-painted, which is the amazing paint job ones, which are like hundreds and hundreds of pounds, which I wouldn't recommend buying if you just want to get into the hobby. Then there's the pro-painted, where you can put them on a table, they look okay, but they've been, you know, not painted with love and care. And then there is the, like, used for parts or pre-sprayed or whatever, and that tends to be covered in paint, like looking awful, but goes really cheaply. So you've got these three stages of painted and three stages of pricing. Avoid the most expensive ones for getting into the hobby. If you want to go and get a commission painter, that's the way I would do it, I think, instead of buying off eBay. For the pro-painted, don't be fooled, they're not pro-painted. I have had pro-painted where it has had no highlighting, no washing, just a base coat, and it was blotchy. So avoid those kind of ones if you can. If it doesn't look amazing in the picture, don't pay the amount they're asking for it, because it's not going to be worth it. That being said, I mean, you can find some gems, but just be wary, okay? And the last lot is the recommended lot that I would say. Now, I do have a little prop with me by the side, which I'm just going to go pick up. And here we have it. This is an absolute godsend. Dettol is the best thing to happen since sliced bread, because this liquid in here strips paint like nobody's business. It's relatively cheap. You can go into like 99p stores and get similar things. Make sure it is this brown one though, and not the spray. I actually used the Dettol cleansing spray very stupidly for about a day and a half on a model, and I was like, it's made no difference. And then I did a bit more research. So, get that. Buy the terribly painted models that are gloopy and horrible. And what you do is you get yourself a little dish, something like, oh, they're stuck together, this, which is full of cold water at the moment. My other one's full of Dettol. You fill it with Dettol, and you leave your miniatures in there overnight, and you wake up the following morning, run a hot tap into a basket, fill it with soap and water, get a small pot, fill it with soap, get a toothbrush, scrub off the Dettol in the Dettol, then take it, dunk it in the hot water, and give it a nice clean with the soap, and you have a brand new miniature for the fraction of the cost. So instead of spending £25 on a tactical marine squad, you can get a tactical marine squad for about a £5, give or take, because the Dettol you can use and use and use pretty much non-stop. I tend to change it after a few, like after 30 or 40 models have been in there, just because I know that it can be a bit, like, it gets slightly less effective. But don't be afraid to scrub it up and to scrub up these worst painted miniatures and get them out there, because in all fairness, they look the same when they're on the table and painted, and they would have saved you a lot of money. Yes, you won't have all the weapon options, so buy one box of Tactical Marines and then buy 5 off, or buy 10 off the internet for a £5 or £3 or whatever, because you can get them that cheap. It's pretty amazing. So that's just a little insight into using eBay to buy miniatures for your hobby. I don't know what it's like for many other gaming systems. I do know that it's a similar thing. You can knock about half the retail price off, minimum. I mean, 12 quid for a Tactical Marine squad would be half the retail price, and you don't need to be paying that much for one. You can get it for a fraction of that. So definitely keep an eye out on eBay. I'm always on it, keeping an eye on what's going on, seeing if there are any deals popping up, because you never know what's going to come up on those sites. I can't speak for other ones like Gumtree, etc., but I can tell you that eBay's pretty handy. Always check that you're going to get what is, always check the pictures and make sure you know what you're going to get, because There have been a few occasions I've been disappointed, but that's my own doing for not looking properly. So, thank you very much for watching. It's been me, Callum from TableTopBanter. Don't forget to like and subscribe, leave a comment below, let me know what you think. Do you use eBay regularly? Obviously for the £25 Army Challenge, which I will maybe thingy up here, I used eBay a lot for that, so I definitely recommend using it. But what have you found from it? And what have been your good deals? And have you got any horror stories you want to share so people don't make the same mistake? And as ever, 2 links in the description below. There is one to the TableTopBanter blog. Harry's been working tirelessly around the night. No, that's a lie. He's actually been laying in, but he has put up some content recently. So that's all good stuff. Go check it out. And second link is the Legion of Gamza Facebook page. Plenty of great content from plenty of great people. So thank you very much for watching. Don't forget, have fun.